Hey y'all, Daniel Aaron here, Guide to Vibrant Living. And look, I've been an entrepreneur since the age of 10. I've been a spiritual teacher and coach for almost 30 years now. And I'm sharing some material lately that some are finding controversial. And I've even had people criticize me or attack me in some way for spreading propaganda. And let's be really clear, what I am saying to you, ironically enough, is similar to what my mother said to me many years ago. Right? Now, from the moment when I got a slap like this in the mid-90s from Spirit that said, wake up, there's a different way of living, there's a different approach to the world, Spirit, there's more than you are seeing. From that moment on, I was 100% devoted to healing, to breaking through, to consciousness, to freedom, to figuring out how to be a human being, to living up to the potential that I had seen, and to serving others who want to live that potential themselves. And for many years, I tuned out the news. I said, I'm not paying attention to that. It's all this negative stuff. It's not helping me. What counts is the internal game. I got to pay attention in here. And what my mother said to me in some ways, come on, Danny. That's what she called me. Come on, Danny. That's navel gazing. Stop being so self-absorbed. You know what? And she was right and she wasn't right. In some way, we do need to, and we did need to be self-absorbed, because if we are always paying attention to what is happening out there and what they are telling us, right, then we are in reaction mode. We don't get to tune in from the inside. In yoga philosophy, it's called pratyahara, right? Turn your gaze in, withdrawal of the senses, and that's appropriate and necessary. Even now it's important and necessary on a daily basis to do some of that. The thing is, we cannot afford to ignore what's going on in the world. Now, some have said to me, stop spreading propaganda. Come on now, let's be real. I'm not spreading propaganda. I'm sharing information, and my message to you is think for yourself. Wake up, take in different perspectives, and see inside yourself what actually makes sense. Now, one of my friends years ago was talking about the flat earth thing, right? And, and presented a lot of really compelling information and evidence why the earth being round doesn't make sense. And I said, well, could be true. And, I'd have to investigate a lot further. And I'm not sure if I could really know from my perspective here. And, I thought about Sherlock Holmes said to Watson one time. Watson said, Sherlock, you're the most brilliant person I know in the world, but you don't know anything about politics, and you don't know anything about astronomy, and on. And so Sherlock Holmes said, Watson, it doesn't make a difference to me. What I care about is my work helping these people, and politics doesn't matter for me for that. How is that going to help? And so that's kind of how I felt about flat earth. Well, is it going to change my experience of walking on the earth? And what my friend pointed out, he said, well, the important thing here is we've been told over and over and over, right? What's the most compelling way to sell a lie? Say it over and over and over until eventually people believe that's the way it is. So, most compelling reason for investigating any of this stuff currently is to start to doubt and look for yourself. In the end, it still doesn't matter to me, really, whether the earth is flat or round, and the suggestion in the end is that actually neither of those stories is quite right. But I'll leave that aside. I don't care about that. What I care about is our experience, your experience, us as beings on this earth, right? Spiritual and physical beings. And it didn't mean so much to me because I already doubt what I've been told, right? What the governments have told us. Who's spreading propaganda here, right? Now let's consider, just take in the information and then use some common sense, use some intuition. If there are forces out there who are saying you must be immunized and they stand to gain financially from us being forced vaccinated, does that make sense? Right? What's propaganda here? So, my invitation to you, my request to you is wake up, come on, you know? Like, this is the time. We can't afford any navel gazing. The only way things ever change in the world is when enough people say, wait a minute, we're not going to take that anymore, right? Tax our tea? No, that doesn't work for us. Force injections of untested, unsafe, highly doubtful material? No, that doesn't make sense to us. And I'm not telling you what to believe. Maybe there is validity in what Fauci and the government is sharing with us. Maybe, right? And maybe not. Right? Certainly, it's time for us to consider for ourselves, to take in the information, to dig a little deeper. Who stands to gain from this? Who stands to gain from this? What do we stand to lose? All right, y'all. I hope that makes sense. I hope you are with me and you are taking the gaze out of the navel, not because it's unimportant. It is. We have to be able to look inside, and we have to look at a broad perspective outside, consider for ourselves, and be able to take informed action when necessary. All right. Thank you for listening. I love you lots. Aloha.